Hey, Mike, tell me a story.
Fuck you.
That's my favorite one. And welcome back to the Retro Review. I am the Bearded Geek, joined by Mikey the Freak.
What's up?
And the dude himself, Steve.
First stinger with cursing.
Right?
Well, one of them. Yeah. I don't know. Have we cursed before during a stinger?
Definitely not fuck.
And we are demonetized. All right.
Folks, we'll be opening up a Patreon very soon.
All right, guys, if you have not realized, we are reviewing the movie 48 Hours. Before we get into it, let's check out that trailer.
Yes, let's.
We ain't partners, we ain't brothers, and we ain't friends. I'm putting you down and keeping you down until Gans is locked up or dead. And if Gans gets away, you're gonna be sorry you ever met me.
I'm already sorry.
Nick Nolte is a cop. Eddie Murphy is a con.
I can help you get Gans, but you gotta get me out of here first.
You're crazy.
He pulls some strings.
See how you need me a little more than you thought, huh, Mr. K?
He pulls some scams.
So where do you want to do it, honey? Want to hop up on the counter?
Nah, we can go in this room over here next to the bathroom.
Give me a break,
I'm
will
dead
ya?
serious.
Come on, we're on the move, let's go.
They've got two killers to track down.
Toss me that piece, and he won't waste him.
They've got a kidnapping going down.
I want the money. I don't know what you're talking about. Want that Indian to snap
Love
her
that
neck.
guy.
They've got a
The
fortune to hunt down.
I want to know what's
Fire it
going on
up.
between you and
Fire it up.
Gans.
$500,000.
And it's all coming down in 48 hours.
But I gave you 48 hours to come up with something, and the clock's running.
This guy got a real itchy trigger finger and he's a nervous cop. You better listen to him, you get your brain blown out.
I'm the calm type.
I know that everybody, when they hear the music, will be doing it on the floor.
I'm looking for a good old boy by the name of Billy Bear.
Never heard of him.
Heard of him now, man?
Up and down, they turn around and tell the band to play some more.
You know, you are real stupid for a cop, man. You're following this guy too close.
Yeah, well, most cops are pretty stupid, but since you landed in jail, what the hell does that make you?
For the night, you can dance and romance and do anything you feel like doing.
What's happening, Luther? I'm sorry about the door, man. Did that hurt? It looked real painful.
You come clean and we're going again right here, right now.
So don't look surprised, 'cause you know what I like. And tonight we ought to do it.
Are you in some hurry or something?
Yes, I'm in a hurry. I haven't done anything for 3 years.
Oh, you used to be a priest or something.
This ain't my night.
Boys are back in town.
If you screw up, I can promise you, you're going down.
Boys are
They couldn't like each other less. They couldn't need each other more.
You want to bet?
And if they can get off each other's case,
Look at you, you got a $500 suit on, you're still a lowlife.
Yeah, but I look good.
they just might solve this one.
Being a cop is a hard job, Jack.
Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy,
We ain't brothers, we ain't partners, and we ain't friends. Now, if Gans gets away with my money, you're gonna be sorry you ever met me.
I'm already sorry.
48 hours.
ain't no fooling around.
Y'all be cool.
Be cool.
Like, really quick. The scene where she goes, "So you're a priest." That's not.
That wasn't in the movie.
That wasn't in the movie. I was like, I
No.
just watched this last night and I didn't remember that priest joke.
Yeah, I didn't remember that one either.
I don't think that she even talks about it. I haven't in 3 years. I don't remember him saying that.
Yeah,
I don't
he
either.
says if I don't get some tailing about or some trimming about 10
Oh,
minutes,
yes, that's right.
couldn't
All
you
right, a
ask nicer? No, I'm about to burst.
A little bit more about this movie. A hard-nosed cop reluctantly teams up with a wisecracking criminal temporarily paroled to him in order to track down a killer. That's somewhat accurate, but I mean, well, it actually really is accurate. That's basically the
What
whole
movie
plot
is?
of this whole movie, yeah. But Eddie Murphy just makes this whole movie. Like this, I think this was his first movie that he actually done, and he just killed it, man. This was a great movie. I laughed a lot throughout this entire movie. They used some of the like we mentioned pre-show that they did use a little bit too much of the N word, but I don't know, man. It was just fun. It was just one of those fun
It's
movies
the
that I could
'80s.
sit
You
there.
can do that
Yeah,
shit back then. Nobody cared.
yeah, and I will say one of the worst precincts I've ever seen in my life. I mean, this was absolutely freaking horrible. Nothing was organized in this whole damn thing. It was just
It's
a
the 1980s.
It was the '80s.
yeah.
No one cared.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's true. I guess that's what everybody thought of cops too at the time. So, but it is what it is. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie on rewatch. This is one of those movies that I really like. I like most Eddie Murphy '80s movies to begin with. I think this was his prime when he was in his prime. So this was a really good movie. Steve, what about you? What was your first impression on rewatch?
Well, I have to tell you, this was not a rewatch. This was my first watch.
First watch.
Born in 82, and there were just a handful of movies that just fell through the filter and fell through the cracks of me as a child growing up. And 48 Hours is one of those movies that my dad just never watched around me. Whether it be what was happening in the movie or the reasonings, I don't know. But I never saw any version of this growing up, let alone another 48 Hours. So this movie was an absolute joy. This movie was hilarious. This movie, it was just an absolute delight, and it's I don't know. It's fucking hilarious, and it's one that I would definitely watch again. And I actually really want to watch another 48 Hours, just to see what they do with that one, to see if it can even hold a candle. Because in truth, most comedies, even with that, the sequels never really hold up to the original. So.
Very true, very true. Mikey the Freak, how about you? How did you enjoy this movie on rewatch?
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've seen 48 Hours, and I think 48 Hours is another 48 is better than 48. But again, it's been a while since I watched it. I just do remember comparing the 2 years ago, and another 48 was better than
Oh,
48 Hours.
well, that
But
excites me.
yeah, so I've never been a huge Nick Nolte fan. I think I don't know if it's his acting is terrible or his raspiness of his voice is kind of nails on a chalkboard type thing. So I don't really enjoy a lot of his movies, so I don't watch them a lot. Um, but yeah, I agree. Eddie Murphy kind of made this movie. Without Eddie Murphy, I don't know who they would have casted first. But Eddie Murphy really stole the show with his comedy, slapstick. I don't. They kind of played pretty well off of each other. I think so. Him and
Very
Nick
much so.
Nolte.
Yeah.
Very much
Um,
so.
yeah, and I mean, and Remar makes a pretty good villain. I thought James Remar was pretty good in this one as
He was
well.
a dick. He was a total asshole in this movie.
Remar always makes a good villain.
Yes,
Yeah.
coming off of he did the Warriors before that, 70, 79, I think, or something like that.
He
So
makes a better lightning god, though.
that was a little bit later. But yeah, he was a cop too, so I mean, he's been all the spectrums. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I do like the movie. Like it is a little cringy because of we're watching the movie now 40 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little bit more racist at that point. But you know what? He was black, he was white, and that's kind of what they did in the '80s when they just didn't give a shit. So that's the cringy part of it. But if you can get past that kind of shit and just enjoy the movie, I think you would enjoy it being an Eddie Murphy movie. It's one of the better Eddie Murphy movies, even though it is earlier in his career. I think it is one of the better movies than like Nutty Professor and stuff like that later on.
And the cringiness of it's really minimalistic at that.
Very, yeah, very.
Very, very, very. And like we enjoy Blazing Saddles, so you kind of got to you got to know when this movie came about, when this movie was released.
No, but you know,
So
that's a different story because yes, Mel Brooks wrote it, but Gregory Hines was behind him, being like, no, use the word more. Use like the man like I get what you're saying though.
Oh, you talking about Richard Pryor?
Richard
That's
Pryor.
who I was thinking of.
That's
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Richard
I said
Pryor.
Gregory Hines was in his History of the World Part 1.
There wasn't no
He's
tap
a
dancing.
eunuch. He's dead.
The jig is up and
It's
gone.
No, yeah. You just got to know when this movie was released and accept it for that fact.
You do.
But yeah. But I'm going to go ahead and rate this movie. I'm going to give this an 8, but an 8.5 with the boob bump, because there was bunches of boobs in this movie. So 8.5. I enjoy this movie. I would recommend this movie to almost anybody above the age of 13. So yeah, I would recommend this
Maybe
movie.
18.
I mean, let's face it, times have changed. 13. So
10-year-olds are probably seeing titties.
Oh, this is true. Steve, what would you rate this movie?
I was seeing titties at single digits. I would give this a solid. It's a solid 8. Like for me, it was a lot of fun. It was good humor, but it's a solid 8.
Really good, Mikey the Freak.
I'm a solid 7. Eddie Murphy doesn't bring it up higher than a 7, and Nick Nolte just kills it for me.
Hey, listen, I've been in jail for 3 years. The wind gets it up.
I will say this is probably my favorite Nick Nolte movie.
No.
What's another Nick Nolte?
Blue Chips.
Okay.
I was gonna say Blue Chips, and I haven't even seen that.
Blue Chips. You liked it. You were a Magic fan. You were a
this is
Magic
top
fan
3.
in the 90s.
This is top. Yeah. This is top
and it had
3.
Penny
This is
Hardaway
top
and Shaquille O'Neal in it, and you're like, we went to the movie theater to see the fucking thing.
Yeah, okay,
so
top
I
3.
know
This
you
is top
enjoyed
3.
that movie.
This is top 3 Nick Nolte movie.
You're like, holy shit, Penny Hardaway and Shaq's in the movie.
And
We gotta
Shaq.
go watch it.
Yeah,
we went and watched it,
and I enjoyed Blue Chip as well. All right, some interesting to fun facts. This was Eddie Murphy's debut. This was his theatrical film debut.
Yeah.
So this was Eddie Murphy's theatrical film.
He did
debut.
Raw just before this too.
According to Eddie Murphy, his agent at the time was Walt Hill's girlfriend and recommended him to Hill. I don't care about that. Let me find another fact. Reggie's line to Jack, "Forget this, man. We ain't brothers, we ain't partners, and we ain't friends," is repeated by Zeus McClane in Die Hard with a Vengeance. I do remember that. And the blue Cadillac used in this movie is now owned by Vanilla Ice and fully restored and painted in silver.
Oh, shit.
Why would you do that? Just keep it blue. Good Lord.
Yeah, keep it
beat up in blue and keep it in your garage.
Keep it sky blue. Keep it a sky blue Cadillac because it was the last one sold. That's why Eddie Murphy had to get that other car. All right. Steve, what do we have for soundtrack?
The boys are back
in town.
48 Hours. Love songs are for crazies. New Shoes. Torchy's Boogie. Roxanne. And cartoon music.
Roxanne. To this day, every time I hear Roxanne, I think of that scene right there.
Yep.
Eddie Murphy singing it in Jeff. Yes. Mikey the Freak, what do we have for related reels, sir?
Oh, let's go. Eddie Murphy. Some of the ones we talked about earlier. Dr. Dolittle. Nutty Professor, which is probably one of his funnier movies. Harlem Nights. I loved him in Harlem Nights.
Yes,
good movie.
very good movie.
Richard Pryor. Nick Nolte. I couldn't find any. No, I'm kidding. I did Blue Chips. Blue Chips is listed first, of course. Cape Fear, which was actually a pretty good movie with Nick Nolte. And then North Dallas 40. Older movie, 70s movie with Nick Nolte. And then James Remar. So we did Oppenheimer. He was in the new Oppenheimer movie. He was Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Of course, I got to mention that. And he was in The Warriors, which is the one I mentioned earlier as well. Too Fast, Too Furious. There's a bunch of movies out there that Remar's in.
Yeah.
Saw him at Comic-Con last year, too. He was at Comic-Con.
Did you get his auto?
Nope.
I have his auto as Raiden though. I do have his auto.
Wasn't worth the money at the time. I would
All
spend the
right.
money on everything else.
As we come to a close, Steve, where can people find you on your podcast, sir?
That's a good look for you.
Fuck you.
What an improvement.
Beetlejuice.
Last podcast you'd want. That's me, folks. Mwah. It's been 2 months since I've released an episode, so
Hey, here's for hoping, man. Here's for hoping.
Don't give up. Don't give up the hope. Keep hope alive.
If you like what you've seen here, make sure you do all the YouTuber things. Give us a good old thumbing. Hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. What did you think of 48 Hours? And if you have not watched it, go watch it because it
Great
is
flick.
a
Great flick.
it is a back to the retro review recommendation.
The guy
All
is
right.
brilliant.
Yes, yes. All right. Make sure you check out the sister channel, Back to the Retro Review, the Mod Squad Network, where we have a movie show, a gamer show. We have a conversation show, and we go live every Saturday night with a giveaway. All right. That does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak and Steve, I am the Bearded Geek saying, if I don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.
See you in 48 hours.
fuck you.